From Books to Billions, The Jeff Bezos Journey. Jeffrey Preston Jorgensen was born on January 12, 1964, in Albuquerque, New Mexico, as the son of Jacqueline, née Guys, and Ted Jorgensen. At the time of Jeff's birth, his mother was a 17-year-old high school student and his father was 19 years old. Jorgensen was a Danish-American unicyclist born in Chicago to a family of Baptists. After completing high school despite challenging conditions, Jacqueline attended night school, bringing her baby with her. Jeff attended a Montessori school in Albuquerque when he was 2 years old. Ted Jorgensen drank and struggled financially. Jacqueline left her husband to live with her parents, filing for divorce in June 1965 when Jeff was 17 months old. After his parents divorced, his mother married Cuban immigrant Mike Bezos in April 1968. Shortly after the wedding, Mike adopted 4-year-old Jeff, whose surname was then legally changed from Jorgensen to Bezos. Guys, her husband and her son left the area and asked Jorgensen to discontinue contact, to which he agreed. After Mike had received his degree from the University of New Mexico, the family moved to Houston, Texas, so that he could begin working as an engineer for Exxon. Jeff attended River Oaks Elementary School in Houston from 4th to 6th grade. Jeff's maternal grandfather was Lawrence Preston Guys, a regional director of the U.S. Atomic Energy Commission, AEC, in Albuquerque. Lawrence retired early to his family's ranch near Cotulla, Texas, where Jeff would spend many summers in his youth. Jeff would later purchase this ranch and expand it from 25,000 acres, 10,117 hectares, to 300,000 acres, 121,406 hectares. Jeff displayed scientific interests and technological proficiency and once rigged an electric alarm to keep his younger siblings out of his room. The family moved to Miami, Florida, where Jeff attended Miami Palmetto High School. While Jeff was in high school, he worked at McDonald's as a short-order line cook during the breakfast shift. Bezos attended the Student Science Training Program at the University of Florida. He was high school valedictorian, a National Merit Scholar, and a Silver Knight Award winner in 1982. In his graduation speech, Bezos told the audience he dreamed of the day when mankind would colonize space. A local newspaper quoted his intention, to get all people off the earth and see it turned into a huge national park. After graduating from high school in 1982, Bezos attended Princeton University. He initially majored in physics but later switched to electrical engineering and computer science. Bezos was a member of the Quadrangle Club, one of Princeton's 11 eating clubs. In addition, he was the president of the Princeton chapter of the Students for the Exploration and Development of Space, SEDS. He had a 4.2 GPA and was elected to Phi Beta Kappa and Tau Beta Pi. Bezos graduated from Princeton in 1986 with a Bachelor of Science in Engineering, BSE, summa cum laude. After Bezos graduated from college in 1986, he was offered jobs at Intel, Bell Labs, and Anderson Consulting, among others. He first worked at Fattel, a fintech telecommunications startup, where he was tasked with building a network for international trade. Bezos was promoted to head of development and director of customer service thereafter. He transitioned into the banking industry when he became a product manager at Bankers Trust from 1988 to 1990. He then joined D.E. Shaw & Co., a newly created hedge fund with a strong emphasis on mathematical modeling from 1990 until 1994. Bezos became D.E. Shaw's fourth senior vice president by age 30. In spring 1994, Bezos read that web usage was growing at a rate of 2,300% a year and eventually decided to establish an online bookstore. He and his then-wife, Mackenzie Scott, left their jobs at D.E. Shaw and founded Amazon in a rented garage in Bellevue, Washington on July 5, 1994, after writing its business plan on a cross-country drive from New York City to Seattle. With Bezos at the helm and Scott taking an integral role in its operation, writing checks, keeping track of the books, and negotiating the company's first freight contracts, the foundation was laid for this garage-run operation to grow exponentially. In 1998, Bezos diversified into the online sale of music and video, and by the end of the year he had expanded the company's products to include a variety of other consumer goods. Bezos used the $54 million raised during the company's 1997 equity offering to finance the aggressive acquisition of smaller competitors. In 2000, Bezos borrowed $2 billion from banks, as its cash balances dipped to only $350 million. In 2002, Bezos led Amazon to launch Amazon Web Services, which compiled data from weather channels and website traffic. In late 2002, rapid spending from Amazon caused it financial distress when revenues stagnated. After the company nearly went bankrupt, he closed distribution centers and laid off 14% of the Amazon workforce. In 2003, Amazon rebounded from financial instability and turned a profit of $35 million. In November 2007, Bezos launched the Amazon Kindle. According to a 2008 Time profile, Bezos wished to create a device that allowed a flow state in reading similar to the experience of video games. In 2013, Bezos secured a $600 million contract with the Central Intelligence Agency, CIA, on behalf of Amazon Web Services. In October of that year, Amazon was recognized as the largest online shopping retailer in the world. In May 2016, Bezos sold slightly more than 1 million shares of his holdings in the company for $671 million, the largest sum he had ever raised from selling some of his Amazon stock. On August 4, 2016, Bezos sold another million of his shares for $756.7 million. A year later, Bezos took on 130,000 new employees when he ramped up hiring at company distribution centers. By January 19, 2018, his Amazon stock holdings had appreciated to slightly over $109 billion. Months later he began to sell stock to raise cash for other enterprises, in particular, Blue Origin. On January 29, 2018, he was featured in Amazon's Super Bowl commercial. On February 1, 2018, Amazon reported its highest ever profit with quarterly earnings of $2 billion. Due to the growth of Alibaba in China, Bezos has often expressed interest in expanding Amazon into India. On July 27, 2017, Bezos momentarily became the world's wealthiest person over Microsoft co-founder Bill Gates when his estimated net worth increased to just over $90 billion. His wealth surpassed $100 billion for the first time on November 24, 2017, and he was formally designated the wealthiest person in the world by Forbes on March 6, 2018, with a net worth of $112 billion. In February 2021, Bezos announced that in the third quarter of 2021 he would step down from his role as CEO of Amazon to become the executive chairman of the Amazon board. He was succeeded as CEO by Andy Jassy. On February 2, 2021, Bezos sent an email to all Amazon employees, telling them the transition would give him the time and energy he needs to focus on the Day One Fund, the Bezos Earth Fund, Blue Origin, the Washington Post, and his other passions. In February 2024, Bezos sold 24 million shares in Amazon at a total value of $4 billion. Bezos announced that he intended to sell 50 million shares in Amazon over the next year. In September 2000, Bezos founded Blue Origin, a human spaceflight startup. Bezos has long expressed an interest in space travel and the development of human life in the solar system. His 1982 high school valedictorian senior graduation speech was followed up with a Miami Herald interview in which he expressed an interest to build and develop hotels, amusement parks, and colonies for human beings who were in orbit. The 18-year-old Bezos stated that he wanted to preserve Earth from overuse through resource depletion. Rob Meyerson led Blue Origin from 2003 to 2017 and served as its first president. After its founding, Blue Origin maintained a low profile until 2006 when it purchased a large tract of land in West Texas for a launch and test facility. After the company gained the public's attention during the late 2000s, Bezos additionally indicated his interest in reducing the cost of space travel for humans while also increasing the safety of extraterrestrial travel. In 2015, Bezos announced that a new orbital launch vehicle was under development and would make its first flight in the late 2010s. Later in November, Blue Origin's New Shepard space vehicle successfully rocketed into space and reached its planned test altitude of 329,839 feet, 100.5 kilometers, before executing a vertical landing back at the launch site in West Texas. In 2016, Bezos allowed select journalists to visit, tour, and photograph his facility. He has repeatedly called for increased interspace energy and industrial manufacturing to decrease the negative costs associated with business-related pollution. In December 2017, New Shepard successfully flew and landed dummy passengers, amending and pushing its human space travel start date into late 2018. In May 2018, Bezos maintained that the primary goal of Blue Origin is to preserve the natural resources of Earth by making the human species multiplanetary. He announced that New Shepard would begin transporting humans into suborbital space by November 2018. In July 2018, it was announced that Bezos had priced commercial spaceflight tickets from $200,000 to $300,000 per person. On July 20, 2021, he launched on the NS-16 mission with his half-brother Mark Bezos, Wally Funk, and Oliver Damon, 108. He launched 9 days after Richard Branson launched on board the Virgin Galactic Unity 22 mission. Bezos's suborbital flight lasted over 10 minutes, reaching a peak altitude of 66.5 miles, 107.0 kilometers. Bezos makes personal investments through his venture capital vehicle, Bezos Expeditions. He was one of the first shareholders in Google, when he invested $250,000 in 1998. That $250,000 investment resulted in 3.3 million shares of Google stock, worth about $3.1 billion in 2017. He also invested in Unity Biotechnology, a life extension research firm hoping to slow or stop the process of aging. Bezos is involved in the healthcare sector, which includes investments in Unity Biotechnology, Grail, Juno Therapeutics, and ZocDoc. In January 2018, an announcement was made concerning Bezos's role within a new, unnamed healthcare company. This venture, later named Haven, is expected to be a partnership between Amazon, J.P. Morgan, and Berkshire Hathaway. According to public campaign finance records, Bezos supported the electoral campaigns of Patty Murray and Maria Cantwell, 2 Democratic U.S. Senators from Washington. He has also supported Democrats U.S. Representative John Conyers, as well as Patrick Leahy and Republican Spencer Abraham, U.S. Senators serving on committees dealing with Internet-related issues. Jeff Bezos and Mackenzie Bezos have supported the legalization of same-sex marriage, and in 2012 contributed $2.5 million to Washington United for Marriage, a group supporting a yes vote on Washington Referendum 74, which affirmed a same-sex marriage law enacted in the state. Bezos donated $100,000 towards a movement against a Washington state income tax in 2010 for top earners. In 2012, he donated to Amazon's Political Action Committee, PAC, which has given $56,000 and $74,500 to Democrats and Republicans, respectively. After the 2016 presidential election, Bezos was invited to join Donald Trump's Defense Innovation Advisory Board, an advisory council to improve the technology used by the Defense Department. Trump has repeatedly attacked Bezos via Twitter, accused Bezos of avoiding corporate taxes, gaining undue political influence, and undermining his presidency by spreading fake news. In 2014, Amazon won a bid for a cloud computing contract with the CIA valued at $600 million. A 2018, $10 billion contract known as the Joint Enterprise Defense Infrastructure, JEDI, project, this time with the Pentagon, was allegedly written up in a way that favors Amazon. After a rumor broke out that Amazon was developing a smartphone, Bezos's net worth rose to $30.5 billion in 2014. A year later, he entered the top 10 when he increased his net worth to a total of $50.3 billion. Bezos rose to become the 5th richest person in the world hours before market close. He gained $7 billion in 1 hour. By the time the Forbes list was calculated in March 2016, his net worth was registered at $45.2 billion. However, just months later in October 2016, his wealth increased by $16.2 billion to $66.5 billion, unofficially ranking him the third richest person in the world, behind Warren Buffett. After sporadic jumps in Amazon's share price, in July 2017 he briefly unseated Microsoft co-founder Bill Gates as the wealthiest person in the world. His wealth's rapid growth from 2016 to 2017 sparked a variety of assessments about how much money Bezos earned on a controlled, reduced time scale. On October 10, 2017, he made an estimated $6.24 billion in 5 minutes, slightly less than the then annual gross domestic product of Kyrgyzstan. On March 6, 2018, Bezos was designated the wealthiest person in the world, with a registered net worth of $112 billion. He unseated Bill Gates, $90 billion, who was $6 billion ahead of Warren Buffett, $84 billion, ranked third. He is considered the first registered centi-billionaire, not adjusted for inflation. His wealth, in 2017 to 18 terms, equaled that of 2.7 million Americans. Bezos's net worth increased by $33.6 billion from January 2017 to January 2018. This increase outstripped the economic development, in GDP terms, of more than 96 countries around the world. During March 9, Bezos earned $230,000 every 60 seconds. The Motley Fool estimated that if Bezos had not sold any of his shares from its original public offering in 1997, his net worth would sit at $181 billion in 2018. According to Quartz, his net worth of $150 billion in July 2018 was enough to purchase the entire stock markets of Nigeria, Hungary, Egypt, Luxembourg, and Iran. Following the report by Quartz, Amazon workers in Poland, Germany, and Spain participated in demonstrations and labor strikes to draw attention to his growing wealth and the lack of compensation, labor rights, and satisfactory working conditions of select Amazon workers. On July 17, 2018, he was designated the wealthiest person in modern history by the Bloomberg Billionaires Index, Fortune, MarketWatch, The Wall Street Journal, and Forbes. In 2019, Bezos's wealth was reduced by the divorce from his wife Mackenzie Bezos. According to Forbes, had the Washington state common law applied to their divorce without a prenuptial agreement, Bezos's wealth could have been equitably divided with his ex-wife. However, she eventually received 25% of Bezos's Amazon shares, then valued at approximately $36 billion, making her the third richest woman in the world. Bezos retained his interest in the Washington Post and Blue Origin, as well as voting control of the shares received by his ex-wife. In June 2019, Bezos purchased 3 adjoining apartments overlooking Madison Square Park in Manhattan, including a penthouse, for a combined total of $80 million, making this one of the most expensive real estate purchases within New York City in 2019. Bezos had also purchased 3 adjoining apartments at 25 Central Park West in Manhattan for $7.65 million in 1999. He bought a 4th unit in that building for $5.3 million in 2012. In February 2020, Bezos purchased the Warner estate from David Geffen for $165 million, a record price paid for a residence in the Los Angeles area. The previous record high price of $150 million was paid by Lachlan Murdoch for the Chartwell mansion. During the COVID-19 pandemic, it was reported that Bezos's fortune had grown by $24 billion, citing a surge in demand from households on lockdown shopping on Amazon. He further expanded his residential holdings in February 2022, purchasing a $16.13 million apartment at a 24-story boutique condominium, located across from Madison Square Park in the Flatiron neighborhood, where he already owns all the units on the top floors. Bezos is the owner of the Y-721, a luxury superyacht estimated to cost more than $500 million. It is the largest yacht in the world. According to Forbes, Bezos was the 2nd wealthiest person in America and the 3rd wealthiest person in the world in 2023. Bezos is the second wealthiest person in the world according to Bloomberg Billionaires Index. His net worth is about US $197 billion as of February 2024. Bezos also supports philanthropic efforts through direct donations and non-profit projects funded by Bezos Expeditions. Bezos used Bezos Expeditions to fund several philanthropic projects, including an innovation center at the Seattle Museum of History and Industry and the Bezos Center for Neural Circuit Dynamics at Princeton Neuroscience Institute. In 2013, Bezos Expeditions funded the recovery of two Saturn V first-stage Rocketdyne F-1 engines from the floor of the Atlantic Ocean. They were positively identified as belonging to the Apollo 11 mission's S-1C stage from July 1969. The engines are currently on display at the Seattle Museum of Flight. In September 2021, Bezos co-founded Altos Labs with Mail.ru founder Yuri Milner. Altos Labs is a well-funded biotechnology company dedicated to harnessing cellular reprogramming to develop longevity therapeutics. The company has recruited prominent scientists such as Juan Carlos Espízio Belmonte, known for work on rejuvenation through reprogramming, Steve Horvath, known for work in epigenetic aging clocks, and Shinya Yamanaka, the Nobel Prize-winning inventor of cellular reprogramming in mammalian cells. The company left stealth mode and launched on January 19, 2022, with a start capital of $3 billion and an executive team led by Hal Barron. Bezos donated to the Fred Hutchinson Cancer Research Center several times between 2009 and 2017. In 2013, he pledged $500,000 to World Reader, a non-profit founded by a former Amazon employee. In September 2018, Business Insider reported that Bezos was the only one of the top 5 billionaires in the world who had not signed the Giving Pledge, an initiative created by Bill Gates and Warren Buffett that encourages wealthy people to give away a majority of their wealth. That same month, Janet Camarena, director of transparency initiatives at Foundation Center, was quoted by CNBC as having questions about Bezos's new Day One fund, including the fund structure and how exactly it will be funded. In May 2017, Bezos gave $1 million to the Reporters Committee for Freedom of the Press, which provides pro bono legal services for American journalists. On June 15, 2017, he posted a message on Twitter asking for ideas for philanthropy. "I'm thinking about a philanthropy strategy that is the opposite of how I mostly spend my time, working on the long term." At the time of the post, Bezos's lifetime spending on charitable causes was estimated to be $100 million. In January 2018, Bezos made a $33 million donation to the Dream.us, a college scholarship fund for undocumented immigrants brought to the United States as minors. In June 2018, Bezos donated to Breakthrough Energy Ventures, a private philanthropic fund founded by Bill Gates aimed at promoting emissions-free energy. In September 2018, Bezos donated $10 million to With Honor, a nonpartisan organization that works to increase the number of veterans in political office. In February 2020, Bezos pledged $10 billion to combat climate change through the Bezos Earth Fund. Later that year, in November, Bezos announced $791 million of donations to established, well-known groups, with $100 million each going to Environmental Defense Fund, Natural Resources Defense Council, the Nature Conservancy, World Resources Institute and World Wildlife Fund, and the remainder going to 11 other groups. In April 2020, early in the COVID-19 pandemic, Bezos donated $100 million to food banks through Feeding America. In November 2021, Bezos pledged to donate $2 billion towards restructuring food systems and nature conservation at the 2021 United Nations Climate Change Conference. Bezos Academy is a group of tuition-free preschools for students from low-income families, which was created by Bezos, and which operate in a manner similar to the Montessori method. On November 22, 2022, Jeff Bezos awarded $123 million to organizations that are engaged in relocating homeless families to permanent housing. Day One Families Fund grants, the amounts of which vary in monetary terms, will be sent to 40 organizations across the country. In 1992, while Bezos was working for D.E. Shaw in Manhattan, he met novelist Mackenzie Tuttle, who was a research associate at the firm. The couple married a year later. In 1994, they moved across the country to Seattle, Washington, where Bezos founded Amazon. Bezos and his now ex-wife Mackenzie are the parents of 4 children, 3 sons and a daughter adopted from China. In January 2019, Bezos and his wife Mackenzie released a joint statement which revealed that they would be getting divorced after 25 years together. Subsequently, National Enquirer revealed that Bezos had an affair with media personality Lauren Sanchez. The affair with Sanchez had lasted for months. On April 4, 2019, the divorce was finalized, with Bezos keeping 75% of the couple's Amazon stock and Mackenzie getting the remaining 25%, $35.6 billion, in Amazon stock. However, Bezos would keep all of the couple's voting rights. On May 22, 2023, Sanchez and Bezos became engaged. He is the honorary chair of the Explorers Club. Bezos is known for creating an adversarial environment at Amazon, as well as insulting and verbally abusing his employees. As journalist Brad Stone revealed in his book The Everything Store, Bezos issued remarks to his employees such as, "I'm sorry, did I take my stupid pills today? Are you lazy or just incompetent? And, why are you ruining my life?" Additionally, Bezos reportedly pitted Amazon teams against each other, and once declined to give Amazon employees city bus passes in order to discourage them from leaving the office. Throughout his early years of ownership of the Washington Post, Bezos was accused of having a potential conflict of interest with the paper. Bezos and the newspaper's editorial board have dismissed accusations that he unfairly controlled the paper's content, and Bezos maintains the paper's independence. Bezos' treatment of employees at the Washington Post has also drawn scrutiny. In 2018, more than 400 Washington Post employees wrote an open letter to Bezos criticizing his poor wages and benefits for his employees. The letter demanded fair wages, fair benefits for retirement, family leave and health care, and a fair amount of job security. Around 750 employees at the Washington Post went on a brief strike in December 2023 in response to Bezos' plans to lay off staff. Jeff Bezos, through founding and leading Amazon, inspires by showcasing the transformative impact of bold vision and relentless execution. From humble beginnings to becoming one of the world's wealthiest individuals, Bezos' journey emphasizes customer-centric innovation, long-term thinking, and resilience in the face of setbacks. His commitment to embracing failure as a stepping stone to success encourages aspiring entrepreneurs to take calculated risks. Bezos' influence extends beyond business, as seen in his ventures like Blue Origin, reflecting a commitment to advancing humanity. His life serves as a compelling example of how audacity, adaptability, and customer focus can redefine industries and leave a lasting legacy. Do well to follow, comment, like, subscribe, and don't forget to turn on notification to encourage us to publish more contents like this. From all of us at Didactic Contents, we love you all.